Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Binge Mojo, the brand new series where we're putting together a bunch of videos around a common theme so it's real easy for you to sit back and enjoy. In this episode, we're bringing you the best that 2018 had to offer. It was a pretty wild year with lots of memorable moments and a lot of great stuff was released. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. On today's binge menu, we've got the best moments of the year, the best shows of the year, the best YouTube channels of the year, best video games of the year, and of course, the best movies of the year. If I know you guys, and I think I do at this point, you guys are probably going to disagree with a lot of our picks, so why don't you let us know in the comments what your picks are in each category? I will also leave mine in the comments. First up, the top 10 pop culture moments of 2018. There were some big ones this year. The royal wedding, that Thai soccer team that got stuck in the cave, Roseanne. It was a year. For this list, we're looking at events and moments in news and entertainment that were not only memorable, but also set in motion a change in the cultural landscape. We'll be excluding some items that we think would fit better on our list of reasons 2018 was the worst.
Do you hear Yanny?
Laurel. Laurel.
Or Laurel?
Laurel. Laurel.
Number 10. Cardi B makes a splash. 2017 may have been the year that Cardi B first made it big, with the release of her hugely successful single Bodak Yellow. But by 2018, she was a full-fledged member of the celebrity A-list, making appearances at the Met Gala and showing off some killer pregnancy style.
That's a compliment because you look like an angel.
Yeah, you too, you're beautiful.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
The female rapper released her first studio album, Invasion of Privacy, back in April. But even before it actually went on sale, she became the first female artist to have 5 top 10 singles on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop chart at the same time. The 2018 music scene would not be what it is without this powerful performer. Number 9. The Thai boys soccer team rescue. There were some truly awful news stories in 2018, but this was one that the entire world could band together about. In June, news broke that a Thai boys soccer team had gone missing while exploring a cave in the Chiang Rai province of Thailand. The story became an international sensation, with people around the world following with bated breath as the boys were found and a rescue mission got underway.
This morning we made a promise to get 9 people out, the governor saying, and we did it.
Against all odds, this story had a happy ending, with all 12 of the boys and their coach making it out of the cave successfully in early July. Number 8. The midterm elections. Typically, when the midterm elections roll around in the US, they pass without much fanfare, with most people waiting until the presidential elections to really get geared up about politics. In 2018, however, that all changed when the whole country, and even the rest of the world, focused their attention on the event.
If you don't vote first, you're last. You're last!
Celebrities were vocal on social media, encouraging followers to vote, and even the previously apolitical Taylor Swift chimed in. This helped spur a significant increase in voter turnout, with the highest youth participation in decades. The results included a number of historic firsts, launching a relatively diverse selection of candidates into the political spotlight. Number 7. March for Our Lives. In the wake of the tragic Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida, many of the students who survived the attack mobilized in what commentators described as the political, quote, coming out party for Generation Z. On March 24th, the student-led demonstration in Washington, D.C. became the largest youth-led protest since the Vietnam War, with satellite events taking place around the country.
6 minutes and 20 seconds with an AR-15, and my friend Carmen would never complain to me about piano practice.
Many consider it a tipping point in the gun control debate, with a new generation demanding that legislation progress with public opinion. Number 6. Nike's Colin Kaepernick campaign. In the social and political climate we're living in, brands are realizing that by getting political, they can have a greater draw. NFL player Colin Kaepernick has been in the news since 2016 when he kicked off the protests that saw players kneeling during the national anthem. Now a controversial figure, he's been out of a job in the NFL since 2017. But at the end of August, Nike included Kaepernick in a major ad campaign, prompting much discussion and leading to the creation of 1,000 memes. Number 5. Ariana Grande's major year. Billboard voted Ariana Grande as their Woman of the Year, and her career has certainly been on fire in 2018, with her album Sweetener topping charts thanks to hit singles like God is a Woman and No Tears Left to Cry. Her personal life also made headlines, with her sudden engagement to Pete Davidson shocking fans, and their subsequent breakup being one of the biggest pop culture news stories of the last few months, rivaling even Justin Bieber's engagement and marriage to Hailey Baldwin. Ariana already has another album in the works for 2019, and the lead single, Thank You Next, has become a huge hit, as well as the perfect modern breakup anthem. Number 4. Roseanne controversy. 2018 has sure been a whirlwind for Roseanne Barr. In March, her show Roseanne went back on the air after a long hiatus, becoming one of the most watched shows on TV. Just 2 months later, though, with the show already renewed for another season, Barr posted a racist tweet comparing African-American Valerie Jarrett to Planet of the Apes and the Muslim Brotherhood. The backlash was swift and almost universal, and ABC canceled the show. Barr apologized while also blaming Ambien and people with, quote, low IQ. You can still see the Connors on TV, just without Roseanne. Around the time of this controversy, it seemed like no one was talking about anything else. Number 3. The Royal Wedding. You'd think that by 2018 we'd have gotten over this whole royal obsession, but it's still going strong even outside the Commonwealth. People can't help but get excited about a good old royal wedding, and how can you blame them when the rest of the news cycle is dominated by so much negativity? Sometimes people just want to see a nice young couple getting married in a big castle surrounded by their friends and family. And Oprah. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tied the knot in the spring, and by autumn had already announced that their family would be growing in 2019. Number 2. This Is America music video. The song of the summer was an unconventional one in 2018. No, This Is America wasn't exactly an upbeat dance hit, but it was a political statement disguised as one. The song's lyrics subtly tackle issues of racism and gun violence in the United States, and the visuals are some of the most poignant we can remember seeing in a music video. The song was hugely influential, with many referring to it as the release of the year.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up.
Even months after it debuted, the song and music video are still giving us goosebumps. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
She writes that her first sighting of Donald Trump in 2006 in his hotel suite in Lake Tahoe was shocking. Trump came swooping in wearing black silk pajamas and slippers, she writes.
Then you're going to have a 50-50 chance there.
She liked that one.
And she likes that forehand side, too.
Number 1. Marvel had a year. Sadly, in 2018, we lost creative mind Stan Lee, who was one of the most influential figures behind Marvel Comics. But this news came at the end of a year in which Marvel dominated pop culture. Of course, there was Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which broke records and exceeded expectations. It was only surpassed at the box office by one other film, Avengers: Infinity War. Black Panther was great and all, but there may not have been any movie moment that was more heavily discussed than that Thanos snap. And in case you're one of the 3 people who hasn't seen the movie yet, we'll keep this spoiler-free. For this list, we're taking a look at new shows and ongoing series that defined television in 2018.
Open the gate! Open the gate!
Number 10. Maniac. This Netflix miniseries reunites Emma Stone and Jonah Hill over 10 years after Superbad, although Maniac has more in common with Black Mirror and Inception. Stone and Hill star as two lost souls who sign up for a pharmaceutical trial that takes them somewhere over the rainbow.
It's time to start your lives again.
Although they were apparently strangers before the trial, our protagonists become intertwined through a series of dreams involving con artists, elves, and stolen lemurs. This allows our leads to slip into a variety of different roles, and for director Cary Fukunaga to experiment with a wide range of styles. For the viewer, it is a twisted ride as we accompany these characters from A to B to C.
Welcome back, subjects.
Number 9. Killing Eve Season 1. Who would have guessed that a comedic talent like Phoebe Waller-Bridge would develop one of 2018's most intense thrillers? It's not to say Killing Eve is without its darkly humorous moments.
How would you kill me?
I'd paralyze you with saxitoxin and suffocate you in your sleep.
In fact, the comedy only adds to the tension, as we're never sure whether to laugh or fear for the characters.
Did you make this?
No.
Your husband?
Yes.
He has an excellent mustache.
Likewise, it's not easy to define the relationship between Sandra Oh's Eve and Jodie Comer's Villanelle. One's a determined MI5 officer, the other is a psychotic assassin, and both are obsessed with one another. You could see these women killing each other, but you can also see them falling in love, making for an unpredictable showdown between two captivating actresses. Number 8. The Haunting of Hill House. This modern spin on Shirley Jackson's gothic horror novel will make any adult viewer feel like a kid again, although not in a warm, fuzzy, nostalgic way. Rather, it takes audiences back to a time when the supernatural seemed more plausible, bringing back the fear of creatures that go bump in the night. The series centers on the Crane family, who grew up in the mysterious Hill House and are still traumatized by their experiences there. In addition to being chillingly crafted, The Haunting of Hill House is one of the most well-edited shows of recent memory, seamlessly blending the lines between the past and present, as childhood demons return to open old wounds. Number 7. Sharp Objects. Sharp Objects is another show that explores childhood trauma, although the story here is grounded in gritty realism. At the same time, it's also a dreamlike experience where the characters can't wake up from their worst nightmares. With echoes of True Detective and The Killing, this HBO limited series is an atmospheric adaptation of Gillian Flynn's first novel.
Everyone always says you're the prettiest girl in Windgas.
Amy Adams gives a hard-hitting performance as Camille Preaker, an unstable reporter who returns to her hometown, where she must confront both her inner demons and a woman in white who's been murdering young girls. Just as he did in Big Little Lies, director Jean-Marc Vallée packs every scene with building dread, amounting to a jaw-dropping payoff. Number 6. Barry Season 1. Some of William Shakespeare's most celebrated plays begin as comedies, and then take a sharp turn into tragedy.
Hey man, you must be Betty. I'm no cocaine.
Barry is also in the spirit of a classic tragicomedy, finding an unlikely balance of side-splitting humor and gut-wrenching heartbreak.
You weren't in class today.
Yeah, no, I know.
Brian was very upset.
Bill Hader plays the titular Barry Berkman, a former U.S. Marine, a hitman, and an aspiring actor. Searching for a new identity, he adopts the stage name of Barry Block, which might be the most complicated role he'll ever take on.
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
This HBO series not only brought Hader his first acting Emmy, but also resulted in a long overdue primetime Emmy for the great Henry Winkler, who steals every scene he's in as an oblivious acting coach. Number 5. Westworld Season 2. The second season of Westworld saw the hosts finally taking control of their own narratives. At least, that's what we're led to believe. Since this is Westworld, it's rarely clear what's real, what's artificial, and who's trustworthy.
That reckoning is here.
The days of white hats and black hats are long gone, as not even Dolores can be classified as a hero or villain at this point. Each character is a riddle, wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, ultimately asking the greatest question of all: what does it mean to be human?
I remember every inch of these hills.
While the entire cast delivered stellar work this season, the standout was arguably Tandy Newton, who won a Primetime Emmy for her supporting role. Number 4, The Handmaid's Tale Season 2. Since the first season dominated almost every major category at the Primetime Emmys, The Handmaid's Tale had great expectations to live up to going forward.
You have quite an adventure ahead of you.
This Hulu series was every bit as thrilling, devastating, and relevant in Season 2, however, showcasing phenomenal performances from Elizabeth Moss, Yvonne Strahovski, and Ann Dowd, among others. The show also managed to become even more shocking, which left some viewers divided.
That we will replenish this earth with healthy children of faith. From the beginning, that has always been... It's not time yet. Tell her to go back.
Whether or not you felt the showrunners went too far, nobody can deny that this series is 100% uncompromising in its depiction of ignorance, corruption, and sexual abuse. It's by no means an easy show to get through, but it is one that the world needs right now.
Go back!
Number 3, Atlanta Season 2. Donald Glover established himself as one of the most talented entertainers in the industry long before creating this FX series. Throughout the first 2 seasons of Atlanta, though, Glover has only grown as a performer, storyteller, and director.
Lederhosen, oder?
Das sind echte Lederhosen.
Ja?
Richtig bayerisch.
Wirklich?
Ja. Ding ding, how about some service?
In addition to elevating Glover to another level of prestige, this surreal show made stars out of supporting players like Zazie Beetz, Brian Tyree Henry, and Lakeith Stanfield.
I'm Darius.
Apologies. I'm Theodore Perkins. Please. Call me Teddy.
Season 2 also marked the debut of Teddy Perkins as himself. Of course, this hilariously turned out to be Glover in whiteface.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, what happened?
We're not sure who's creepier, Teddy or Florida Man. Number 2, The End of the F***ing World Season 1. Among all the shows on this list, this adaptation of Charles Forsman's graphic novel is the one that's most likely eluded you.
Hey. I've seen you skating. You're pretty shit.
For anyone who appreciates black comedy and unconventional approaches to the coming-of-age genre, though, it is a must-stream. We all feel the need to rebel at some point during our adolescence, either due to neglect, trauma, or bottled-up anger. The End of the F***ing World explores what happens when kids take rebellion too far, as well as when parents don't take responsibility for their children. Alex Lothar and Jessica Barden give breakthrough performances as James and Alyssa, who both capture the darkest side of growing up.
I've just turned 18. And I think I understand what people mean to each other.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Milk, lemonade, around the corner, poo emojis made.
The turd burglar was a different animal.
It's the ice, Georgie. It's only the ice.
We're going to the Catskills. Hallelujah, happy before the judgment day.
All of them?
All of them.
Set the weirdos free and see what happens.
You want to be respected, you gotta make yourself useful.
Number 1, The Americans Season 6. The Americans started to shake its underrated status in its final season, winning the Emmy for Outstanding Writing for a Drama Series. Matthew Rhys also took home the Lead Actor in a Drama Series award for his multi-layered performance. Rhys wasn't the only one who turned in an acting tour de force, as Kerry Russell, Holly Taylor, and Noah Emmerich rounded out this extraordinary ensemble.
This sends you to jail. 20 years, 30 years, they don't care what I say.
In the end, every major character had to choose what's more important: loyalty to one's country or loyalty to one's family and friends. There's no easy answer, leading each character to a final destination that may not be the happiest, but is certainly the most fitting for this enthralling series.
For this list, we're looking at channels that were most dominant this year based on 3 things: number of subscriptions, popularity of the content, and popularity of the personalities. We won't be including musicians' channels, like Eminem for instance, however, because, well, of course their channels are popular. They're musicians. Number 10. Raka Raka. This channel from Australian YouTubers Danny and Michael Philippou is an action-packed, laugh-filled experiment in chaos. It's known for its intense live-action videos and for its unique version of Ronald McDonald. Hint, he's not kid-friendly. Raka Raka has won a host of awards in the past, including a Streamy Award for 2015's Best International YouTube Channel, and is known for the hit show The Raka Project and the now-defunct House of Raka. It currently sits at 5.2 million subs and over 781 million views, with little signs of slowing down, despite a recent string of demonetized videos by YouTube due to graphic violence and lewd content. Probably not a great channel for the kids. Number 9. WWE. World Wrestling Entertainment's YouTube channel is a great place to catch up on Raw and SmackDown, original content from the WWE Network, behind-the-scenes exclusives, and much more. It's been around since the early days of YouTube, and considering just how frequently this channel is updated, it means there's literally a ton of content available that would please even the most diehard wrestling fan. It currently sits at 37 million subs and does somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 billion views per year. Wow. Making it one of the most viewed channels on the entire platform. Who knew wrestling was so popular? Well, wrestling fans, of course, duh. Number 8. Smosh. Smosh is a sketch comedy channel that's been around as long as YouTube itself, and now finds itself the 31st most subscribed to channel on the platform at 23 million subs and a whopping 7.8 billion views. Originally started by Ian Heckox and Anthony Padilla, the Smosh team has greatly expanded, adding a slew of new faces as well as 2 other channels in Smosh Games and Smosh Pit. Padilla left in 2017 to start his own solo career, citing a lack of creative freedom from parent company Defy Media. But Defy Media recently closed with no warning in November of this year, so the future of Smosh looks murky at best. Number 7. El Rubius OMG. Ruben Doblas Gunderson, better known as El Rubius, has the most followers of any Spanish YouTuber, at 32 million, and he's gotten 6.9 billion views overall. His original channel was simply called El Rubius back in 2006, but he eventually created the current one in 2011 when he couldn't become a YouTube partner on the original channel. He focuses mainly on Let's Plays, but has been known to venture into vlogs, Q&As, and sketch comedy. Despite taking a 4-month break this year due to stress and anxiety, the famed Spanish YouTuber is back and shows no signs of slowing down. Number 6. Canal Conzilla. As of February this year, Canal Conzilla is now the biggest YouTube channel in all of Brazil. Created by Conrad Cunhadantas, stage name Conzilla, this channel shows off his talents in video production, mainly focusing on music videos. Conzilla has made over 840 videos, has 42 million subs, and has a total of 21.1 billion views. Not bad for a guy with a digital camera. Don't worry too much if you can't make out the lyrics. These videos are still a downright treat to look at, and the music will have you grooving in no time. Number 5. Whindersson Nunes. Another famous Brazilian YouTube channel, Whindersson Nunes previously held the title of Brazil's most subbed channel until being taken over by Canal Conzilla, but it's still currently the 12th most subbed channel on YouTube with 32 million followers and has well over 2 billion views in total, so we think channel creator Whindersson Nunes Batista is still doing alright regardless of being number 2 in Brazil. The channel is made up of parody videos, vlogs, songs, and movie reviews, but Nunes doesn't stop there, as he also has a career outside of YouTube in acting and stand-up comedy. According to Snack Intelligence, a digital marketing analyzer, this is the second most influential YouTube channel, just behind PewDiePie. Number 4. Shane Dawson. As one of the original YouTube channels that rose to fame in the late 2000s, Shane Dawson's videos had over 500 million views in 2010, and now it sits at over 4.5 billion with an equally impressive 19 million subs. And why not? He's a talented dude. Just look at his resume. YouTuber, author, comedian, actor, film director, musician. Geez, when does he sleep? His channel now mainly focuses on docuseries, and his recent series on the TanaCon convention was all anyone could talk about for some time, until his 8-part Jake Paul series took the world by storm. Number 3. Dude Perfect. Dude Perfect is a channel where 5 dudes make perfect trick shots and stunt videos, hence the absolute perfection of the channel's name. Kobe, Corey, Garrett, Cody, and Tyler were all former roommates at Texas A&M University, and have since graduated to YouTube stardom with over 36 million subs, the most of any US-based channel, 6 billion views, several Guinness World Records, and the second most popular sports channel on the platform. Oh, and they also have their own TV show on Nickelodeon. Not bad for a bunch of dudes making really elaborate ping-pong trick shots for a living. Number 2. T-Series. India's largest music label and film production company was founded in 1983, and in 2018, it's the most viewed channel on all of YouTube with a staggering 53 billion views, and is the second most sub channel, sitting at over 74 million. It's primarily known for Bollywood music soundtracks and Indian pop music, and it believes in bringing the world together through the power of music, a noble goal if we do say so ourselves. What's more, T-Series has a multi-channel network, 29 in total, that also has more than 100 million subs and 65 billion views on its own. They may sit at number 2 right now, but they're certainly gunning for the top spot. Number 1. WatchMojo. Kidding, obviously we wouldn't consider ourselves, because that would be incredibly biased. But seriously, subscribe. Our real number 1 is PewDiePie. Unfortunately for T-Series, the top spot still belongs to PewDiePie, as the king of YouTube sits at over 74 million subs, just a couple 100,000 more than the Indian music channel, and 19 billion views. The Swedish creator is embracing the current rivalry with T-Series, however, going as far as making diss tracks directed at the channel. He may have moved away from gaming playthroughs for vlogs and sketch comedy, but his followers still can't get enough of him. Seeing as he's been the most sub channel since 2013, and for 3 years, he was the most viewed YouTuber on the planet. Whatever the magic ingredient is for YouTube's success, PewDiePie has it. Hell, he probably created it.
For this list, we're looking at the absolute greatest titles released this year, and while we couldn't fit all the games we wanted to, we think our list will stand the test of time. As is tradition, we will not be including any remakes, remasters, or enhanced ports of any kind. Also, we will not be including Fortnite, as its Battle Royale mode was released in 2017. However, this time around, we're going to start out with the honorable mentions to get things going.
Next time, I'll have a tale of my own to tell.
It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'd be quick.
Merc forces are contesting Alpha.
Number 10. Far Cry 5.
Everything could be overcome if we embraced an idea.
The latest entry in this long-running Ubisoft franchise wasn't just a really fun experience, it changed up its open-world format for the better. There's enough optional quests and tasks, high-powered weapons, vehicles, and enemies in the fictional Hope County, Montana to keep gamers returning long after the story missions are done, and then some. While critics seemed divided over the story, claiming that the main antagonist was a bit flat and dull, the real charm to the Far Cry series has always been about liberating outposts, messing with the local wildlife, and blowing shit up. Check, check, and check. Man, we love Far Cry. Number 9. Dead Cells. This game's mixture of a roguelike dungeon crawler and Metroidvania action-adventure made a lot of gamers take notice during its time in early access, which helped make its release very successful. For fans of the Dark Souls series and those looking for a challenge, this is a 2D actioner that just cannot be missed. As a literal collection of dead cells, gamers explore procedurally generated levels, fighting the undead within, while collecting cells that are used as an in-game currency to level up one's character, similar to the Souls games. And yep, you guessed it, upon dying you lose your cells and have to start over again. Sounds like a frustratingly great time. Number 8. Subnautica. This is an open-world adventure unlike many found in the overcrowded genre nowadays. with a focus on survival, managing resources, and of course, exploring a vast alien ocean. There are no towers to unlock or bad guys to shoot, but there's a lot of cave sulfur to collect. Not to mention the game's story is surprisingly engaging and compelling, especially given how it's conveyed to the player. Trust us that this game is a rare example of a truly fun survival game that'll have you both excited and terrified of what's just beyond the next reef. Number 7. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Let us meet our fate, shall we?
With the reboot of the Assassin's Creed series last year in Origins, the franchise took a leap forward in terms of gameplay and visual upgrades that fans of the series wanted for some time. Odyssey moves even more toward role-playing than its predecessor, and does it in a way that feels crucially important to the story and environments. Sure, some upgrades come by way of grinding, but the feeling we had building our versions of Alexios or Cassandra, and how that empowered us to move about this huge open world, was a unique highlight in 2018. Also, the game's fictional retelling of the Peloponnesian War, how cool was that?
Today was a day the Persians will never forget.
Number 6. Marvel's Spider-Man. At long last, we have the definitive Spider-Man game that fans have wanted since the days of Spider-Man 2. Swinging through the streets of New York City as Spidey has never felt better, and playing as Peter Parker was also surprisingly satisfying due to his relatable story, and addition of puzzles that greatly switches up the pace. Not only that, but the edge-of-your-seat boss battles provided some of the game's most climactic moments. Sure, the side activities could have been better, but with traversal and combat this good, it's the game that Spidey fans have been waiting for. Now, get out there and save the city!
So, should we kiss now? Yeah, maybe later.
Number 5. Monster Hunter World.
To the A-list! And the commission!
Cheers!
Capcom's long-running monster hunting series finally came to current-gen platforms, and it was everything that its fans wanted. A deep, satisfying loop of chasing down grisly beasts, looting their corpses, upgrading gear and weapons, and then tracking down even nastier beasts. Rinse and repeat. No longer divided into regions or zones, this Monster Hunter is a fully open world that feels truly alive with all types of monsters within. But, as longtime fans know, success in this world still comes with a bit of a learning curve. The difficulty of jumping into the game for the first time has been scaled down for newcomers this time around, however. Even so, expect a challenge. Number 4. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
2, 1, go!
The newest version of Nintendo's hit crossover fighter is not only a celebration of all things Smash, but as a celebration of gaming as a whole. The roster is absolutely huge and contains every returning character as well as a good handful of new ones. Returning home to this fighter feels great 4 years after the last game, and it feels even faster and more technical than before, making it great for competitive play. With the return of great single-player content though, this series is no longer just for competition and multiplayer, and we loved going mano-a-mano with a game to unlock more characters and neat items. All hail Smash Bros. Number 3. Celeste. Who says graphics are everything? There's always plenty of room for super tight gameplay, fantastic soundtrack, and a deeply original story. And luckily, Celeste checks off all 3 boxes to become one of the best 2D platformers ever made. Madeline's struggle to climb Celeste Mountain, while dealing with her own anxiety issues and inner demons, is an emotional journey that we weren't expecting to be handled so incredibly well for such a tricky subject. Plus, the challenging yet well-designed stages really nail the game's themes of overcoming adversity. It's one thing to have a fantastic story and gameplay, it's another to have these elements complement each other so well. Thus, Celeste sets a new high bar for future indie games. Number 2. God of War.
Might.
Sony's reboot of the acclaimed God of War franchise was nothing short of miraculous. After all, it made us fall in love with Kratos after many years of making him a highly unlikable, angry character. Backed by Norse mythology this time around, this game tells a tender, dynamic tale of Kratos and Atreus' emotional journey about fathers and sons, loves and losses, and new beginnings. All backed up by tighter combat and a jaw-dropping Norse world to uncover. And who didn't get overwhelmed with excitement when Kratos retrieved his iconic Blades of Chaos? This game wasn't just an epic adventure, it has us hungry for more. Now, bring on Thor.
But I am your monster no longer.
Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Why ain't you never married?
What would a best of the year list be without the latest offering from Rockstar Games? We don't know, nor would we care to find out. This game is everything that Grand Theft Auto isn't: slow-paced, realistic, and highly precise. But it's also everything we've come to love from Rockstar. Grand in scope and structure, incredibly innovative, and it's a ton of fun to play. The story of Arthur, Dutch, and company is also one of the best gaming has to offer, with an incredible cast of characters that had us laughing, loving, and cursing our way through its 60-plus hour narrative. Which reminds us, it's time to be getting back to camp to do our chores.
Why don't you take a few of us up there right now? I got this, Dutch. Should be fun. All right, you, come on, let's go.
For this list, we're taking a look at the very best films 2018 had to offer, whether they were critical darlings, audience favorites, or maybe a little of both.
No, it's crazy, right? To help my family, I gotta leave it. To fix the law, I gotta break it.
You'll be great.
Number 10, Mission Impossible: Fallout. Fallout is the 6th entry in a cinematic franchise that began as a television series from the late 60s and early 70s. At this point, you'd think the filmmakers would be running on fumes. Much like Tom Cruise, however, this series is showing no signs of slowing down.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to prevent the Apostles from acquiring plutonium, using any means at your disposal.
If anything, Fallout was the most exhilarating addition yet, complete with a charismatic ensemble, thrilling plot, and twists on top of even more twists. Director Christopher McQuarrie definitely earns the impossible in the film's title, as the stunts here are so mind-blowing that you'd swear they were all CGI. Yet, Cruise and company once again went the extra mile to deliver the most nail-biting, death-defying experience possible.
What are you waiting for? I'm jumping out a window! What do you mean you're jumping out of a... Oh, sorry, I had it in 2D.
Number 9, You Were Never Really Here.
There are no green ones. Light green.
Joaquin Phoenix has certainly gone through some interesting phases over the years, but there's no denying that few modern actors have taken as many chances as him. He gave a handful of strong performances in 2018, and his turn in You Were Never Really Here left the greatest impression. Praised by many as taxi driver for the 21st century, Phoenix channels Travis Bickle as Joe, a suicidal veteran who never really left the battlefield. When a senator's daughter is kidnapped, however, Joe's life is suddenly given a glimmer of purpose. Although the title might suggest otherwise, Lynn Ramsey has made a film that sticks with the audience long after the credits roll.
What?
Let's go. It's a beautiful day.
Number 8, 8th Grade. There have been numerous movies about adjusting to life after high school, but few films that deal with the equally uncertain transitional period between 8th and 9th grade.
I hope to, basically, you know, like, be yourself and don't care about, like, what other people think about you, and just, like, you know, ignore them if they're being mean to you about it.
Writer-director Bo Burnham's debut film flawlessly captures this pivotal period in a young person's life, while also providing a time capsule of a generation immersed in social media. Elsie Fisher naturally slips into the role of Kayla, an insecure 8th grader who wants to belong, but feels more comfortable speaking into a webcam rather than face-to-face with her fellow students. It might be rated R, but 8th grade should be a part of middle school curriculum for its important life lessons regarding anxiety, sexual pressure, and disappointment.
I'm like a good person because I'm always nice to you, and you're just... And also that card game I got you is like a really fun version of Go Fish or whatever, and you'd actually know if you played it instead of trying to be cool all the time. I don't know.
Number 7. BlacKkKlansman. 2018 stood out as a phenomenal year for performers of color, but director Spike Lee was exploring race relations decades before Hollywood's recent push for diversity.
I'm talking about power to the people.
All power to all the people.
That's right, sister.
Almost 30 years after Do the Right Thing, Lee is still fighting the power with this humorous, audacious, and relevant joint. BlacKkKlansman reunites Lee with Denzel Washington's son, John David Washington, who delivers a breakthrough performance as Ron Stallworth, an African-American detective who manages to infiltrate the KKK. Although the absurd premise might sound like a work of fiction, you'll be shocked to learn that the film is actually based on a memoir. What's even more shocking, though, is how so little has changed since the 1970s.
I wish the two of you been blown up instead of good white folks. Get it?
Oh, I do get it. Do you get it, Patrice?
Yeah, I totally and completely get it.
Number 6. A Quiet Place. Horror movies are not only starting to receive more recognition from awards groups, but filmmakers are also growing more ambitious in their approach to the genre. When hostile sound-triggered aliens invade Earth, the Abbott family must go through each day in extreme silence. Although this setup could easily turn into a gimmick, A Quiet Place fully immerses the audience in its perilous setting, where all hell can break loose at the literal drop of a hat. Just as our protagonists are left on the edge at all times, so are we. Like an episode of The Twilight Zone, the alarming atmosphere is merely half of the film's appeal, as the engaging characters and narrative takes center stage. Number 5. Roma. This is a difficult film to describe. That's largely because life is hard to describe, and few movies encapsulate human existence quite like director Alfonso Cuarón's latest tour de force. Just as he did in Children of Men and Gravity, Cuarón makes the audience feel as if they're part of the action in this story about a middle-class family and their maid. Although Roma is smaller in scale than some of his other films, the experience couldn't feel more personal or look more gorgeous. Whether the characters are dealing with tragedy or simply daily routines, every shot could be displayed in a museum. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then Roma is worth 1,000,000. Number 4. Black Panther. It's hard to think of a film released in 2018 that had a more significant cultural impact than Black Panther.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
What are you talking about? I never freeze.
Being an MCU adventure, there was little doubt that Ryan Coogler's film would perform well financially, but not even Marvel could have predicted that it'd be the year's highest-grossing domestic release, and the second biggest worldwide. Black Panther also rose up as the MCU's most critically acclaimed outing to date, earning universal praise for its detailed environments, multi-layered characters, and themes that carry substantial weight in today's divided world. Black Panther proved so successful that Disney's gone all out with an Oscar campaign, and it's about time a superhero movie broke into the Best Picture race.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
Number 3. A Star is Born.
Don't you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah, I do. I don't like it, but I understand.
Oh, I think you like it a little bit.
This classic love story had been told 3 times already, but never so perfectly. Bradley Cooper makes an extraordinary directorial debut, and his performance as fading country singer Jackson Maine is equally superb. Lady Gaga is an acting revelation as Ally, a small-town singer destined to be a superstar, although finding fame often comes with a toll.
Can I tell you a secret? I think you might be a songwriter. But don't worry, I won't tell anybody.
Together, Cooper and Gaga share the most charming, heartbreaking, and sincere on-screen chemistry 2018 had to offer. The emotional journey they go through is only made more impactful through the rousing soundtrack, which beautifully personifies each story beat. If A Star is Born gets remade a 5th time, this is the new standard to top.
You're full of shit.
Can I touch your nose?
Oh my gosh.
Let me just touch it for a second.
Number 2. Avengers: Infinity War. We'll admit, it wasn't easy deciding whether to award a higher spot on this list to Black Panther or Infinity War, as both demonstrate the MCU at its finest.
Wakanda forever!
Between the two, however, Infinity War had the taller order to fill. Aside from being an event that's been in the making for about a decade, it also had to juggle dozens of ongoing storylines while also delivering on Thanos' big arrival.
If you consider failure experience?
I consider experience.
It couldn't be more gratifying than watching everything come together in a work of art that balances action, tragedy, and a broad cinematic universe of characters. It may only be the first half of the story, but movies don't get more epic than this.
You have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
To whom it may concern.
She sees the future.
No, she understands TV.
Please, Mr. Gruber, be serious.
Perhaps your auntie's ruling days are behind her.
I think you might be right.
Why? Because no one thinks we have the balls to pull this off.
First man to walk on the moon. That'd be something.
You have a very narrow assessment of me, Tony.
Yeah, right? I'm good.
Number 1. Hereditary. This one will leave you lying awake at night. Not only will its eerie atmosphere and unsettling visuals leave you on edge, but you won't be able to get the film's haunting themes, twists, or motifs out of your head. The Graham family may not realize it, but they're trapped in a house where something evil is unfolding. As the pieces slowly start falling into place, we're left wondering if these characters are descending into insanity or descending into hell. Between Ari Aster's engrossing direction, Toni Collette's spellbinding lead performance, and Colin Stetson's sinister musical score, few films have made our skin crawl like this modern masterpiece.
You tried to kill me.
I love you.
Why did you try to kill me?
I was trying to save you.
Well, that was the year in a nutshell, and our first episode of Binge Mojo. Let us know what your top 10 in each category is in the comments, and let us know what you want to binge next. See ya.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.